everyone, welcome to my channel Fruitful Lindens, where I teach people how to design, save, and live. Today we're going to be closing out my June budget. Since it is now July 2nd, we're going to go ahead and close out last month so that we can continue the same process all over again with July. So right here, and I have in front of me, right on top here, is my monthly breakdown of all the different bills that I have to pay. I can assure you that I did pay all of my bills this month. However, these ones that are not highlighted are actually paid from the previous month, and I'll be doing a separate video about how I split up my payments so that I only pay half of them, or set aside half of them to pay them once a month, but I set them aside separately each paycheck so that when they come due I will have the full amount to pay the entire bill. So these were actually paid with the last month's last paycheck, and that's because they came before my first payday in June. Okay, and so I did pay the rest of the bills. However, the Planet Fitness was not $22 this month, it was about $8, and you'll see that later on in the video. Okay, and so I have a couple of forms that I want to fill out for my Budget Mom system. But before I get into that, I really want to get into what I was spending my money on this month. There actually is a page for this in the Budget Mom system, and I go ahead and show you this page. I kind of messed it up already, but here you can put down your budget categories, what your monthly budget was, how much you actually spent, the difference, and then how much of your income goes to that. However, since this was such a weird month for us, I'm not going to do that this month because we spent so much money that it looks like we spent more than we had. And basically, we just bought a house. We had to buy a lot of things for the house. So what we had in our bank accounts does not necessarily reflect what we spent. Or rather, our income doesn't reflect what we spent, but we had the money in our bank account left over from the sale of the house and closing. We did end up getting some money back, so we had some money to spend on the house, and we did that on purpose. So let's go ahead and get into what I spent my money on this month. And this is not for both of us, this is just for me. And this is just looking at my debit card. It's the card that I use the most often, so this won't include some of my larger bills like rent and things like that, but the only rent that I paid this month was really for July, so I'll include that in July's budget, if that makes sense. So right up here at the top, I've already totaled these. I just went through and highlighted everything. Things in orange are food, things in yellow are bills and expenses, blue is home, and purple is personal or business. And what I would consider my business is actually my YouTube hobby and kind of my financial journey equipment, which would be like this template system that I bought, and then I bought a subscription to the monthly savings challenges as well through the Budget Mom. So that's what I would consider to be business. And then personal are things that I bought for myself, not things that I bought for the house, but things that I bought for myself. Okay, so we'll quickly go through. I did have some notes on some of these things. You will see here that I have this ATM withdrawal as a home expense, and that's because we use that to buy a washer and dryer used from someone on Facebook Marketplace. So that was $400. And then this transfer into the account for $1,000 was so that I could write a check for the mortgage, since we don't have online access yet. So I took that out of my bills account and into my regular checking because I don't have a checkbook for my bills account. Okay, and then here you can see from my last video where I took out the cash to do cash stuffing and payday, and everything else seems fairly straightforward. These are just some things that I got reimbursed for personally, and then I sold my KitchenAid mixer to a friend, and that money just helped us buy more things for the house. So thank you, Katie, for buying my extra KitchenAid mixer. That was a big help. Here's a personal expense that's just some things that I bought on Google, And like I bought an editing software here, which I think I'm actually going to cancel and get a refund for. This was because I went out to eat and Caleb reimbursed me the money for that. And then that course that I got reimbursed for on my second paycheck through work. And I think those were all of my notes, really. I just kind of wrote down where I had paydays. One big expense here that you'll see for the home that's not really an expense. It's basically when we got money back from closing, we got what would that be, like $862 back from closing. So Caleb's half of that, since we went halvesies on closing, Caleb's half of that was $431. So I went ahead and took that out, and I just marked that as an expense because it did come out of my account, but it really wasn't an expense, if that makes sense. So what I spent for the month of June, at least from this card, I spent $390.11 on food, $347.36 on bills and expenses. I spent $2,018.85 on the house, which sounds about right and is insane, and $119.68 on personal and business. Okay, so moving on with that, that's just a little recap of how my spending went. I'm not including my cash envelopes because I really haven't had a chance to spend anything. So I think I bought like $40 in groceries $60 in groceries. And other than that, I really haven't spent anything. Although we did just have a plumber come today because we bought this washer and dryer, and then our drain backed up all over the basement floor, which is fine. We have an unfinished basement. But we were like, oh no, we need to get this fixed, and we weren't sure how much it was going to cost. But thankfully, I had a coupon, and it ended up being $150, which was great because we had exactly $150 in Visa and American Express gift cards that were given to us from family members and from signing up for our internet service. So that worked out great. It was basically free. Thank goodness. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fill out the net worth tracker first, because honestly, I'm most excited about this one. I do have the numbers here off to the side, but I have not totaled anything yet, which I'm realizing I should have done because I don't have a calculator. So I may have to do that off camera, and then I'll show you guys what we have here at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a red pen and start filling out these values for you guys. So basically, you have your assets and your liabilities. Your assets are things that are worth money that you have possession of. And then your liabilities are things that you owe. So basically debt. So for the house, we just had it appraised less than 2 months ago. And the house appraised for $154,000. My car, according to Kelley Blue Book, is worth $7,807. In my savings, I have $1,100. So that's my $1,000 emergency fund, plus I transferred over an extra $100 I had, and it's still in that account. My 401k balance is $2,042.25, and that is way down because of coronavirus. So we're hoping that that will come back up when this mess is all over. And I do have a brokerage account. It doesn't have very much in it. It's mostly just penny stocks. And I do have exactly, for some reason, $5 in that account. And then in my sinking funds, which would really just be cash, so I'll go ahead and write that here. It's just cash. Would be $267. Okay, and then the mortgage, or what we still owe on the house, as of June, technically, even though I already paid the mortgage, it's technically not until, it's not for June, it's for July. So technically we still have the full balance left on the mortgage, which is $145,500. And Left on my car loan, I have $7,024.85. And I know that I said I was close to being, or I was close to paying this off, but considering where I started, this is like literally half of what I started with, so I'm getting really, really close. I've had my car for about 2 years, and I've got it more than halfway paid off, even though I have a 6-year loan, because I've been paying extra every single payment. So hopefully my snowball will end up going towards this amount, and once I get to $1,000 in my snowball envelope, I'll go ahead and put that straight on my car and hopefully pay that off a lot faster. My Discover student loans balance, don't have a heart attack like I do every time I see this number. It's $32,766.78. And if you thought that was bad, my federal student loans is $71,630.60. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never going to college. Why is it so expensive? So basically, I had to have the Discover loans my first year of college because when, at least in Indiana, when you do federal loans, they don't let you take out very much federal student loans, which is a bummer because they have a lot better interest rate. So I had to take out my Discover loans, and then supplementarily over the years I was able to decrease the amount of my Discover loans, but then my federal loan amount increased. And I didn't go to college for 4 years, I went for 6. So I did a 4+2, which is a bachelor's and a master's for architecture program. So that's why it was so expensive. And these loan amounts include a little bit of extra money that I got back each time. I didn't send it back to them. I kept it because for architecture school, you have to buy tons and tons of supplies. So I will go ahead and total these up, and we will see where I'm at with my total net worth here in just a minute. A minute, more like a second in the editing world, right? Okay, so after totaling all of these amounts in each of the respective columns, basically you have this big box here for your total net worth, which is labeled as total assets minus total liabilities, which is exactly what I did here. You can see that this number is bigger, so I did end up with a negative balance. That's no surprise to me. It's alarming. It's an alarming number. However, I know that if something happened to me, there are several things in place to take care of this amount. So while I'm concerned by the number, because I know that I still have to, make this up in my lifetime, if something does happen to me, I want everybody to rest assured that my Discover loans and my federal loans will be forgiven in that instance. And then hopefully here within the next year or so, I'll have my car paid off, and the mortgage, that's what we have mortgage insurance for as well. And I'm not the only person on the mortgage, so I'm not terribly worried about that. Now, it's not to say that I don't wish this was a positive number, because I definitely do. Okay, moving on to where did my money go? So I kind of explained that in my bank statement there, but I do want to quickly fill out these totals for you. So my total monthly debt payoff, I'll go ahead and write these totals down here first, and then you'll see where those numbers come from. So I ended up paying off $200 on my car and $355 on my Discover student loan. You might be wondering why I don't have my federal loan listed here, and that's because I'm currently in forbearance due to COVID-19, so I won't start paying that again until September. Since I am paying rent and mortgage, I took advantage of that so that I could afford to have a similarly nice lifestyle during this time. So I will start saving back up for that the month before September so that I have the full payment by the time it's due in September. Okay, and these are my only two things that I paid debt on this month. I don't include like my normal bills unless I actually have like a car note and a student loan note, but I don't include things like rent and stuff like that because there's really no note. It's not really debt, it's just a bill. Okay, so the total for those is $555. That's fun. And that percentage from my paycheck, so this little blurb here says monthly debt total divided by monthly income. So that would be the $555 divided by the $27.92, which is the total of my 2 paychecks. That came out to 20%. And I do round up, so if it's like 19.5%, I put 20. But I think this one was like 19.9%, so yeah, I'm gonna round it up to 20. Okay, and then for my savings, I'll go ahead and fill these out. I just put aside $100 in my general savings. In hosting, I had $120 in my last couple of videos. I can't remember which one. I did mention that I didn't save all this in one paycheck, but since I just started this journey and for the sake of this video, I will just put it in there that I put it in there this month, and then each month I'll only put the amount that I actually stuffed. Okay, so for birthdays was $10. Oh, dad was $45. My snowball was $42. Christmas was $40. And my challenge was $10. And in the future I won't be counting that, but I know exactly how much is in there, so it would bother me if I didn't just put that in there this time. But from here on out I won't include that, and then that'll be a surprise at the end. So my total monthly savings, if you add all of these up, should come out to $367. Okay, and then of my income, that's 13%. And you might be thinking, whoa, you made $2,700, or basically $2,800 this month, and you only saved 13%. But again, paying rent and mortgage at the same time, and this is 13% on top of the 10% that I save before I even receive my paycheck, which goes to my 401k, plus the $10 a paycheck that goes to my health savings account. So really, you're looking at about 23% savings total, which is pretty good. Okay, and then I'll go through here and just tell you how to calculate this in case you're curious. So down here at the bottom, there's a little asterisk there, and it says percent of category to debt equals individual debt category total divided by monthly debt payoff. So here you see how much of this was towards each item. So this would be the $200 divided by the $555. That comes out to 36% of the total debt paid off, and 64% was the Discover loan. And I'll quickly go through these. This was 27%, 33%, 3%, 12%, 11%, 11%, and 3%. And I didn't get real nitty gritty with the decimal points here. It's just an important metric to see where your money is actually going. Okay, so that is my budget all closed out. As I mentioned in my video where I stuffed my sinking funds, my month closed out, or at least this paycheck closed out exactly where I thought it would. I stuffed all of the categories the way I thought I would. All of my bills were exactly what I thought they would be, so there's really nothing too exciting there. It is just helpful to go back and see how much debt you paid off, how much you saved, and then again what your net worth is, even if it's really negative. So thank you for watching my video. Feel free to leave me a comment below if you like or dislike my new camera angle. I really like this better because I can actually see the screen and what I'm doing, and I feel like it's more of like a POV look at my pages. So let me know if you prefer the straight top-down view where you're looking straight down at the table, or if you prefer this more like angled view. I personally like it because I can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it instead of just guessing and hoping I'm in frame. So hopefully I can provide better quality videos this way for you guys. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get a notification every time I post a new video. And I hope that you have an excellent day and a very fun 4th of July weekend.